Let's kick things off, shall we, with Chelsea taking on Nottingham Forest. Oh dear, losing by 1-0. This is what Pochettino... Ignore that, that's wrong at the top. They lost 1-0. Pochettino would go on and say that he saw a lot of positives, but in the end it was one mistake that saw them lose. Frank Leboeuf joins us now. Frank, how you feeling, mate? You've seen this movie before.
Very happy to see Shaka in the studio. Welcome back, my dear. But I had a very disappointed afternoon watching Chelsea because I can already make a statement. We are seeing the same Chelsea that we saw last season. Same issues, not able to score a goal, not able to even create an opportunity to score. No change of pace, lack of experience, big time. I thought I saw the academy team of Chelsea this afternoon, and that's the only thing I saw against a very courageous and brave team of Nottingham Forest who did what they had to do. But Chelsea has proven this afternoon that they can compete for even the first 6 seats if they carry on like that. Of course, there are some mistakes, and it's excusable to miss a simple goal like Jackson did. But it seems to be that they cannot miss one chance, otherwise they're going to be punished because they have no other chances than that one. That's a tragedy. But again, it's due to the fact that they have no leadership overall. And no experience overall. They don't know how to change a game. They don't know how to push themselves to another degree. They are youth, and it's just normal. It's who they are, and they're going to be 30. They're going to be ready. Within 5-6 years because they have a long-term contract. So fans will have to be very patient.
Approach the ball in that manner. It says everything you need to know about where he is mentally in this Chelsea team right now. That being said, that kind of summed up where Chelsea are right now. And to Frag's point, what is the bigger travesty? Missing a chance like that, or the fact that we're talking about Chelsea at home, at Stamford Bridge, relying on that one chance to get a point against Nottingham Forest? I'm not sure. And while, Pochettino is trying to find the positives of this, I'm not seeing them.
Frank's absolutely spot on, Stevie, when he says this is exactly the same as we saw last season.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, I mean, pedestrian, no change of pace. And the worst thing about it all, it was predictable. And it's easy for a team like Forest or anybody else to put men behind the ball and really not have to work that hard to keep you out. That's pretty much sums them up. Pedestrian and predictable. And when you're predictable, you can stick 11 dummies in front of a team and they'll still manage to keep a clean sheet.
2 shots on target. I mean, that at home. I mean, who thought we'd be discussing this?
The passes completed is the most telling one. I mean, if ever a stat tells you that you pass the ball for the sake of it,
right,
then that it's written all over it.
I'm looking at Chelsea and I'm trying to figure them out. Raheem Sterling, for me, still looks, as he had in the previous 2 games, as Chelsea's most threatening player. Now, if you ask me, Raheem Sterling hasn't looked like himself since putting on the blue of Chelsea. So if all of a sudden now Raheem Sterling is your best player, you have to question what you've been doing with the 4 transfer windows in the last 2 years. Chelsea still lack that goal-scoring threat. I think Nicholas Jackson is young, he's raw, but needs that mature head alongside him, maybe even to play as a 2. I'd made a good argument that Nkunku would have been that partner, but of course he goes down injured. And now you have absolutely nothing to fall back on. Gallagher does not look the player that he was at Crystal Palace. Why they keep hold of him or are still a hold of him after all this time, I'm not at all sure. And Caicedo just hasn't got his bearings. Caicedo's running into teammates. It looks so amateurish from a Chelsea perspective.
What the heck are they going to do, Frank? They can't buy anyone else.
No, of course not. And I was replaying the game in my head and to try to find a solution. They had crosses. They're not capable of doing one proper cross. They always go to a red shirt. I mean, it's like, I wanted to say, call Pochettino and say, work on your crossings. Really, because the guys, Gusto and Chilwell, don't know how to cross the ball. But at the end of the day, if they cross well, there is nobody to get the ball into the net. So, and after I was thinking about getting a little bit upset about Silva and Disasi because they play, horizontal passes. They don't try to be the man plus who are going to create the unbalanced defensive situation for Nottingham Forest. They were just giving the ball on the side. But at the end of the day, they would have done that for what? Because at the end of the day, you know that you're not going to score. And you're going to come back and you're going to turn around and then you're going to lose the ball and they're going to be in danger because of the counter-attack. There is no solution right now to sort Chelsea's problem out. That's crazy. I'm very concerned about the future because that's the player that you have. You're not going to get any player until January. And I don't see how you're going to resolve all the situation that you have. And if Pochettino is happy with what we saw today, I'm even more concerned because for me, I don't see any light at the end of the tunnel, as we say in France. I don't know if you say that in English.
Yeah, we say that, Frank, very much so. Stevie, obviously, Pochettino came out and said it was one mistake and we are punished for it.
Well, he's going to come out with that sort of rhetoric. I saw a lot of good things, we couldn't score, some sort of connection between the players that you have. Because there's no chemistry whatsoever on the team.
Right.
Even by chance, you can find chemistry when you just throw a team together. But it doesn't look as though there's any in this team.
So how do you manifest that? How do you grow that? Listen, if there was one thing that they won't do that we were told, Ronnie Moran and Kenny and whoever it was, Bob Paisley, would tell us to go and get drunk together. Oh, okay.
And the reason they would do that, but there is a good reason they did it, because you would sit down and everybody would have a couple of beers, and then by the time you had 3 or 4, everybody would start talking.
Right.
And then somebody would bring something up, and then all of a sudden you're talking about what's going wrong and what who should be playing, who shouldn't be playing. We should be playing with this at the back. He should be playing up there. You should move me in. I mean, we would come up with all these things without actually meaning to do it. And it brings you together. It's going to be something simple at Chelsea that makes this work.
Stevie.
It's not always going to be about coaching on the field and going through set plays. It's going to be something like camaraderie, or somebody's going to do something and everybody's going to get behind it. There's going to be something will happen that will have nothing maybe to do so much with what Pochettino does, but it just happens on its own. But it has to happen quickly.
Frank?
Yeah, we live in another time, and nowadays players don't drink, don't go to bar. They just stay at home and they don't socialize. And we live in a different world. We used to go out. We used to stick together. We're happy to have a life outside of football, which is not the case. And they're very professional, but they don't know how to socialize. And I don't think they drink. I think they're going to get drunk after 1 pint. So that's might be an issue for them to go that far. But I really think and we're going to talk about Brighton. I mean, don't tell me that the individual that you have at Brighton comparing to what you have at Chelsea are 10 times better in order to show what they showed this afternoon compared to what we saw with Chelsea. I think it's a matter of definitely confidence from the players that play for Chelsea, but also about how you make them play and how you turn and twist their brain in a different manner. It's not that they are not good players, it's they don't know what to do. They don't, and the only thing they think is, I don't want to lose the ball. And it's why we see Fernandes and Caicedo and some others not taking any risks. Because they don't want to be booed, they don't want to be criticized, so they do the minimum. That's the thing. And when you don't try, it's why I was getting a little bit upset about Silva and Disasi, because you don't take offensively too much risks. They should go to push the guys to show themselves and to create the outnumber. But they don't do that. They do simple things, and that doesn't work.
This is a very unique situation, though. You know,
Because
first of all, my point about going out is that's what we used to do, but they have to find something that they do.
Right.
But
But
you're
you're
the same
already,
affection.
you had an established team, though. These
Well,
people have
that's
never played with
but
each
that's
other.
the biggest problem.
Yeah.
And it's unfair to, Frank, it's unfair to look at Brighton and compare Chelsea, because yes, Brighton seem to sell players regularly, but they're adding a player. And so when you're adding a player or even two players to a system that is functioning beautifully, all you got to do is stick a little bit of oil on it every now and again. So
Is that how you stick oil on it?
That's how you stick oil on it. You stick oil on it.
Yeah, but
That's a different ball game. That's a different ball game than throwing 11 guys together, which you 100% are right about. They're all kids. And so you've got no experience to guide them through. It's an absolutely unique situation that is going to take an awful lot more than just Pochettino coaching.
And last word on this end, Frank.
Yes, allow me just one word. When you see Gilmour playing today for Brighton, the way he was playing for Chelsea, I didn't recognize the player.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN.